do it. Let's go. And up to the sky.
Put her down!
Please.
Please what?
You don't have to do it.
In No Good Deed, it's Idris Elba like you've never seen him before. Elba stars as an escaped convict who terrorizes a mom, played by Taraji P. Henson, and her two children in their own home. Welcome back to Arise on Screen. Our sister show, Arise Entertainment 360, sat down with Idris Elba, who talked about how he and Taraji Henson prepared for such demanding roles.
It's just a little motivation to keep your mouth shut. You stand to lose it all.
Since he was so dark and scary, after filming, did you have to like flip a switch and like get decompress? Like, what did you do to decompress, get all the nastiness out of you?
It was tough, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we were doing night scenes, so I would sleep during the day.
Okay.
Yeah, and just try and relax and just get. But we stayed in it. You know,
Did you ever
really
scare
stayed in
yourself
it.
and be like, wow, I didn't know I can go that deep, that dark?
Yeah, Taraji and I had these moments where, you know, like when we were discussing the character, you know, just understanding like what was going on within ourselves. When we were making this movie, Taraji was pushing me. I was pushing her back.
Yeah,
you know,
she fought.
Yeah,
She didn't play.
But mentally, you know, in the game of actors, we played and pushed each other hard.
Now, I have to tell you, I really like this movie, and I had the rare occasion of actually going to see it in the theaters because they canceled all the screenings for critics. But seeing it in the theater, and this is clearly a movie made for your folk.
Oh, yes, it is for
Yes, it is,
females.
for black females, let
Black
me just say,
women.
because they were going crazy.
Well,
now, you mentioned a few things that you liked about this movie, and one of the things is that Taraji's character is sort of forgotten her power, and it's the situation that brings it out. Why did you like the movie?
Absolutely. I mean, not just for Taraji. This is a girl power movie. Taraji kicks Idris's butt all over the screen. Just that internal instinct of being a mother wanting to save your children, that was absolutely real. Idris, nice on the eyes, good to look at, but he was a convincing, just a deranged man with these female issues, and we've never seen him like this
you know,
before.
and it reminded me of Harrison Ford in What Lies Beneath, where he'd always played all these good guys, and he made this really good, seductive, you know, charming bad guy. Now, Bobby, you didn't like the movie. You felt that the first half was goofy and the second half was juicy.
Well, the beginning of it, because, you know, I'm thinking, okay, she graduated from NYU. I'm sitting there in the audience thinking, girl, you would not have gone to the door.
I disagree with you 100%.
Had it been a Jehovah's Witness. But tall, handsome psycho man, she's like the guy in The Wizard of Oz. Come on in. You
Well,
brought
the
him-
audience were with it. They were with it.
And I was with it, too. I thought that, you know, the first half was a little weak, but it picks up steam. It is a good popcorn movie, and I think for folks who liked Fatal Attraction or The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, they're going to really
Well, it fits
dig
right in
No
with that
Good Deed.
thriller genre, and there were a lot of things I liked about this. I don't want to give away the end, but there's some little details towards the end, you know, where she goes back to something she's left behind, and you see where she's at, and so there are a lot of things that I think really worked about this film. And you mentioned something interesting, that they originally wanted a white actor to play the convict.
They did. Taraji, in an interview that I read, said that they were looking for a white actor to play what role actually became Idris's role. And she ended up having to convince Idris to take this role. She said she played the role of, I'm a single mother and I need the money. And she started whining and he said, okay, I'll do it. And I'm so glad that he did it.
You had a point, Bobby. What were you going to say?
Well, I think that this is going to have good word of mouth. And
it's already tracking to make 24, 25 million this
you know,
weekend. Yes,
black actors need a mainstream hit.
Yes, we do.
You know, she's an Oscar nominee who's had to go to TV. Idris should play Batman or James Bond.
Oh, Bond.
Bond.
Over Denzel?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to move on. In his last role as TV's favorite mobster, James Gandolfini stars opposite Tom Hardy in The Drop, as a Brooklyn bar manager and bartender who get caught in the middle of a heist gone wrong.
You never know up front when your bar becomes a drop bar. You just take all the city's dirtiest money, and bagmen come and go from all over town, and nobody ever sees it coming. Nobody ever sees it going. And then they could tell you to be the drop bar next week. Or maybe even next year. The point is, you never know. In the meantime, me, I just tend bar and wait.
Now, I have to say, this is a very solid thriller, crime thriller. And James Gandolfini, I mean, he really owns the space. But I have to say, the standout, which I think you agree with me, Rakia, but I want to get to you first, Bobby, was
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
I have been a fan of his since I saw him in a British prison drama called Bronson, 2008.
Yes.
He was blazingly brilliant in that. And like Idris, another British actor playing an American role and nails it. He is such a good actor. He's a real chameleon.
too, not just American, but Brooklyn.
But Brooklyn.
He's got that accent.
And this movie surprised. I thought it was like going this way, and then I went, whoa.
Well, you know, part of that's the writing. That's Dennis Lehane, who wrote Mystic River, Shutter Island, and a few other great films. And I thought that this surprised me in how well some of the dialogue was constructed, what a deep understanding he has of human beings to write this story.
And it didn't hurt that they moved the action from Boston to Brooklyn.
No. Now, Rakia, you like this movie as well?
Oh, I did. You know, this was Tom Hardy's movie.
Yes, it was.
To think that he was Bane and Batman.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes, and to see the transformation, I mean, he was almost like I kept thinking of Kaiser Soze in a way.
But a little less intelligent.
But a little less, right, not as smart Kaiser Soze, but, you know, still being slick and smart and crazy in a way. Tom Hardy, all of the acting in this movie was
I agree. You can't forget
excellent.
Noomi Rapace, who played in the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
She's so good.
She's so good and so different. And again, now you've got a Danish actress and a British actress
guy.
playing two people who live in Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
And Gandolfini in a peak performance.
And it's so sad to see him go. Well, I have to say, we talk about Gandolfini, we can't not mention The Sopranos. And in our next segment, I've got an interview with Joe Pantoliano, who you may remember from The Sopranos. When we get back.
Still to come.
You guys related or something?
No, not related.
In a career spanning 3 decades from roles in The Matrix to The Sopranos, Emmy Award-winning actor Joe Pantoliano has created memorable characters. Joe stops by to chat about his latest film, The Identical. Next, here on Arise on Screen.
I'm loving you, loving me.